you coming in then?
Good morning and happy Christmas, one and all. What a show. What a show we've got lined up for you today. The French foodie from First Dates, Mr. Fred Sirieix, will be here. He'll be dropping by very shortly. And we're also joined by a classical singing sensation. Carly Paoli will be here as well. If that's not enough, we've got Strictly Come Dancing winner turned panto star, Oduba will be here. He'll be dropping by a little bit later. And I'll be dishing up a sticky toffee pudding roulade for a mouth-watering little masterclass. Top chocolatier as well, Mr. Mark Tilling will be back, serving up incredible gingerbread choux pastry. What a show. I tell you, it's packed. And we're heading down to the local pub a little bit later, where me and my band are going to be playing us out at the end of the show with a Christmas classic. I'll be on guitar. And if that wasn't enough for you, then I'm here in the kitchen with two top chefs cooking for us this morning. It's my good mates of the show, the fabulous Galton, Blackiston and Gareth Ward. Happy Christmas, guys.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you all. Busy times for both of you, I think.
All good, all good.
Both of you running hotels, successful restaurants, fish and chip shops, you as well.
Shop,
yeah. Exactly. So what are you going to be cooking, Galton? What are you cooking?
I'm going to do a traditional roast goose.
Okay.
Not many people have roast goose, but when you get it...
It's done right, it's done proper, and it's nice.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of a better place to be in Christmas time with you two.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not just saying
He's a
that.
charmer. He started already, hasn't
That's
he?
not what he said outside.
It will all go down.
I definitely know that. That's what he said outside. What are you cooking for us then?
I'm going to do some miso cured black cod with some caviar and little salt cod soup.
So you're doing the miso cod. I'm going to start off with some amazing smoked salmon.
And it looks incredible.
Christmas. Look at this. I mean,
Does,
it's like I mean, look at this buffet of smoked salmon that we've got in here.
I could just go crazy with some sourdough right now.
Exactly. Well, it's going to happen. So I'm going to do this little salmon mousse. So we've got a selection of different types of salmon over here. I'm going to explain these in a second. But I'm going to do this salmon mousse with a little bit pickled cucumber. So the first thing we do is do a nice little bit of pickle first. So a little bit of sugar, like that. A little bit of salt over there. And then we take these lovely little cucumbers, we warm them up, and we just sit there with a little bit of dill, and that's going to go in there. And I'm just going to do a simple little salmon mousse. But talking about this amazing salmon, which the guys are absolutely loving as well, hopefully we can go up to the east coast of Scotland to find out how this amazing smoked salmon is actually made. And how we enjoy it on our Christmas tables each Christmas. From the John Ross Smokery in Aberdeenshire, it's Chris Lee. He's there. With his, is that a hard hat on, or is that the reflection from the fish?
The salmon are dangerous, aren't they? Dangerous, them salmon.
Dangerous salmon, that's it.
Well, yeah, you can get a bit of drippage. You know, part of the process is the salmon will drip.
Not good for your hair, no?
Exactly. Yeah.
Be nice for your hair, no?
So tell me, first of all, Chris, how did it all start? Because you've had a roll warrant there for nearly over 30 years. How did this amazing process start?
Well, I mean, it's really complicated history to it, but I mean, essentially, my father re-established the company back in 1987. And since then, it's been a family-run business. But John Ross goes back further than that, back to 1857. And he was a smoker of salmon and fin and haddie. And that business actually shut down some 70 years ago. So it's a traditional recipe, traditional technique, passed down. And we've kept that, and we've added modern testing from salt analysis to microanalysis, etc. But kept the traditional methods of hanging the fish and hand salting and hand filleting.
Unbelievable. How long do you smoke them for? 18
to 24 hours. And you can go to 48 hours. It depends on the weather. You know, it's an art form. It's not a true science. It's a true art form.
Yeah.
So, cold winter days will affect it to a drier day.
It changes every day.
So just to explain the process of how you make it, those people who are just diving into their smoked salmon or preparing their little smoked salmon for lunch today and that sort of stuff, explain to it how you get to this point where you take the fish. And the process is with you, it is by hand. So how do you get to the point of actually where you're stood now?
So from here, it starts with sustainably friendly farms, good quality fish. You've got to start with a good quality Scottish fish. And we test that fish when it comes onto site. We're looking for a firm texture, good fresh gills, good raised eyes, the normal things for fresh fish.
Yeah.
And from there, we hand fillet off the bone, and then we hand salt. We with a rock salt.
Just salt?
A little bit of sugar.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Very
Yeah.
tiny bit of sugar, just sweetens it up a bit.
Yeah.
And then we will wash that salt off the next morning. We'll leave it overnight, depending on the size of the fish, 3 to 4s, 4 to 5s. They come in ranges. So we'll leave it in the salt overnight, wash it off in the morning, and then it will drip, it will hang. And we then hang it into the kiln, so we hook it up. One of these stainless steel hooks goes into the fish, and then we hang it up in the kiln, and it will sit here for 8 hours, and that moisture's just coming out of the fish.
And then tell us about while I'm blending this, I'm making a noise, tell us about the hot smoked salmon as well that we've got in front of us here, that the guys can have a little taste of there. How do you produce this? Similar sort of way?
Similar, yeah, up until the kilns. So that's actually smoked in the more modern kilns, the electric kilns that were originally invented in Torry. They used to be the Torry kiln, and just around the corner from us was Torry Research Centre. So they did a lot of their testing of the machinery here on us on cold smoked. But then as things developed, we started to then play with the hot smoking. So you cold smoke it right up to the end of the process of about 8 hours, and then you roast it for 3 minutes up to 72 degrees. So you're getting a cooked, flaky, more meaty texture, but still with that hit of the smoke and a slight touch of salt.
And you mentioned there is a science involved in it as well. That's how it all started. The founder was a chemist and all that kind of stuff. But you've gone from producing what used to be, I believe, sort of 100 sides of salmon a week, and now produce. Give us an idea of the volume that you're producing, because this is sold all around the world. The volume of stuff that you're producing.
Yeah, we're exporting to 30 countries around the world, and we've got 8 kilns, and in each kiln we can do 1,000 sides, up to 1,000 sides. And we can do 4 smokes a week. So what's that?
32,000.
32,000.
Mega.
So if you take an average,
Yeah.
That's it's the best salmon I've ever had.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. The flavour is it as well. But it's not just that. Often you see artisan producers, and when you start to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger, the products itself
gets lost. Yeah,
gets lost. But being able to produce that on the volume. But I take this is still. You said you're prized by doing this by hand. It's hand sorting the fish. It's hand filleting. It's hand salting. It's all to do with that process right the way through, and utilising people and doing this by hand, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. And it's consistency, being consistent and sticking with a quality product and not cutting corners, but taking time. And it does take time. It takes a lot of time, a slow process in itself, and then a lot of manual handling. And then, we've got good people that have been with us for many years. You couldn't do it without that good core team around us. So they've all grown with the business as well. As we've expanded, they've expanded in their roles and knowledge.
I wish you all the very best with it. Happy Christmas to you and your team as well. And thank you for doing what you're doing. The produce is amazing. It speaks for itself.
Well done, mate. It's amazing.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Happy Christmas.
Very, very rarely do a supplier get a round of applause from the chefs. That just shows you how good your stuff is.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing, that is. Thank you.
Brilliant. Take care there, Chris. Cheers. Thanks, boss.
Bye,
Happy
guys.
Christmas.
Thanks. Bye. Happy Christmas.
So this is your cukes. You like this with a little bit of bread.
That looks amazing.
It's all right, isn't it? You just made it up. It didn't take very long, but these are pickled cucumbers. A little bit of bread in here. You can do this with a little bit of mayonnaise, that kind of stuff, and then a bit of watercress because we're near this neck of the woods. So a bit of watercress in there. The top. I've got the hot smoked salmon in there as well. You can mix and match. But there we have it. Smoked
Beautiful.
salmon. Now you know where it comes from. Easy as that. Now, normally I would give my guest chefs this to eat, but I'm not. I'm going to give them the dregs that are left over in here, to be honest with you, because I'm going to keep this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
You're going to put it in the freezer,
Okay,
aren't you?
absolutely. I'm not giving you that. I've just made it, you know. But look,
you.
there, you get to have a taste of this. But
The best bits are left in the bowl anyway.
exactly.
Always.
But there you go. I'm pleased you like that. I mean,
Cheers,
because
mate.
the smoked salmon's one thing, but when you see it in where it's done and it's still done properly, but, you know, commercial on a big
Oh, you
scale.
having some lemon?
No,
For you, mate. I'm doing it for you. There you go.
no, it doesn't, yeah.
Are you having some?
Oh, I might as well join. Try
I'll
join
put
you.
lemon in it.
Yeah, but, you know, Galton likes lemon on it, you know what I mean? Let's get some lemon on it.
Right, coming up, I'll be celebrating the big day with Fred Sirieix and top chocolatier Mark Tilling. We'll be serving up something naughty but nice a little bit later, but don't go anywhere, because after the break, Yes is back behind the stoves. I know it's stressful. Galton Blackiston's turn to cheer you all up with a Christmas dinner of roast goose. This is going to be interesting. I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back. Now, I've got a masterclass in sticky toffee pudding roulade coming your way, and I'll be cooking for First Date star Fred Sirieix and classical singer Carly Paoli very shortly. But first, the budget didn't quite stretch the three wise men of the East, so instead we're in the kitchen, the one and only Galton Blackiston from North Norfolk.
Thank you.
Also, this is the ultimate chef's table, so Oduba is with us as well. Welcome to the Shorey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, unfortunately, you've got this man to watch.
Watching
be
you
sucked
two.
in by him, please.
No.
Shall we
I'm
have a drink
Quite
first?
happy to be sucked right out after watching you two in the break.
It is Christmas. It is Christmas Day, and I can smell burnt goose.
Can't give me that.
So, right. Try not to use my Robin tea
I'm
towel.
not.
I've kept that the entire Christmas show, and you're about to ruin it.
Look, let me...
Where are you going?
I'm going over here.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
So we've got our goose there. Good. Right. So that's most of the things that we've done. What else are we doing then?
Right, so I want to talk about a goose. It's quite rare to have goose at Christmas, but it's very opulent. If you can get hold of a goose, it doesn't... A goose like that, which is
You're going to
about-
struggle today, though, on Christmas Day to get hold of a
Oh,
goose,
yeah,
aren't
you are. You're going to have to be prepared and look to want to cook a goose.
For next
But-
year.
Yes. And I know you don't
I'm just
like...
saying, I mean, you're
Listen,
gonna
I know
struggle to
you
get a
don't
goose
like-
on Christmas
Will
Day,
you
aren't you?
listen to me? I know you don't like turkey.
No,
So I thought, right,
don't like
what
turkeys.
can I impress you with? Or what can I give you on Christmas Day that you're going to eat? And I think this is the ultimate thing for you.
Beef.
Yeah.
You should have texted him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, exactly. I ignore
I
him.
want to talk about... So a goose like this
Yes,
will,
goose.
will serve maximum, although it looks huge, I think 6 people.
Now, you've never tried goose before, have you?
No, I'm actually terrified of geese.
Yeah.
So this is perfect.
It's perfect Christmas.
This is
then,
a
mate.
great, it's great because
think you're
you would
gonna
have
like
preferred you would have preferred a beef, and I'm terrified of geese. So here we are. Happy Christmas.
No, he's generally terrified. He's...
No, I'm really.
Yeah, well, I understand that, being terrified of a goose.
Yeah.
But that's when it's got its wings flapping and it's alive.
Thankfully, if it wasn't for you, Galton, we would have a flappy, winged bird. But now you're doing your thing. So
Yeah.
no, actually, I've never tried goose before, but I'm a big fan of duck. Scared of them too. This is going really well.
Right. So you take off the wings off there.
Yep.
You can prick this, or you can pour boiling water over it to help the skin start off. But if I was at home, all I'd do is to put this in the largest roasting pan on a trivet. I think a trivet helps with a goose because it creates a massive amount of fat.
What's a trivet?
A sort of tray, so it doesn't sit directly on the bottom of the tray.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I think he
A
understands.
cooling rack.
A cooling rack. Or a trivet.
Right.
Then, liberally salt and pepper it. Have your oven set at about 180, and we put it in,
Yep.
OK? Now, this is going to be quite controversial,
Is it?
because I don't want a goose to be medium rare. I want it well cooked.
Right.
To me, you get the
that
better
controversial?
flavour. Well, because chefs...
I think if that's what you're thinking this Christmas, I think you need to get out more.
What do you mean?
Well, I just think if that's all you're worried about in life, to be honest
No,
with
but if I'm a some of the chefs that you get out there will think...
No, they need to get out more as well. do you know what I mean?
Because I think you get better flavour from it being better cooked. Actually, when you have something that's on the medium rare side of things, I personally don't think you get as much flavour. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got to understand.
OK, right. What's next then?
Right, next. Get that on.
It's hot.
Get that on.
Right, it's on.
Yeah, a little bit of goose fat.
Can you leave the Robin Tate out? We've had this the entire Christmas. You just wrecked
You've
it.
been waiting for a year to bring that out.
Yeah.
Now it's been singed. Poor
now
Robins.
Right,
I'm going to calm down now.
right, calm down.
Okay.
Right, I've got the veg. So I've got roasted parsnips. Look at these.
Interesting.
beautiful.
How do you do your roasted parsnips?
I would do them with sherry.
All over me, whatever you do.
I basically take the parsnips,
Yeah.
a little bit of sherry, some honey, a little bit of butter, a little bit of thyme. Done. Don't need to blanch them. It's ridiculous. It's just-
Really?
yeah, it's creating too much work for yourself.
Yeah.
Just stick them in the oven.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. Cool. I'll
Next.
take your
You still with us?
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking.
This is looking good.
This is a dream that I'm waiting to wake up from. I'm thinking that we're hosting Christmas for the first time
Yeah.
at our house, and
Right.
like today, will be just watching.
So
with a
are you
glass of
cooking
wine.
then at Christmas?
Absolutely not.
You're not cooking?
No, do you know what? My wife is a big fan of
James?
cooking a roast. A big fan of James. He's got all the books.
Oh, hang
From every
on.
time I've come, he just gives them for free. You just
Yeah,
don't know
he
what to
gives
do.
them
You
away,
just take them
doesn't
home.
Yeah.
Use them as a doorstop.
Have I got a book for
And,
Christmas, James?
No, you haven't.
I'm hoping if I stick around long enough, he might give me that Himalayan salt fridge as a Christmas gift.
No, that's different.
why I'm here.
That's different, Lee.
That's why I'm here. But no, so we're hosting. And apart from the meat or the burnt, the order of things is always a thing I get mucked up about. The timing. Which one do you go? What is the thing that
To
starts?
be fair, all right, this is probably not the best person to follow, to be honest with you, on timing and everything else.
That's probably
I don't
true.
know where you're getting that from, because I think
Ask
I'm
the
doing
goose.
all right.
Ask the goose, Galton.
I think I'm doing all right, you know. Right.
Tell?
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, so this is your veg and your goose bits, okay? Get a good colour on them. If you've got your goose in well before Christmas, which I would hope you might have done,
Yeah.
then this is a tip for whenever you're making a sauce or a stock.
This is if you're doing
especially
turkey.
with birds.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of red wine vinegar.
Yeah.
Reduce it down.
Why is that? Because it makes it taste.
It's the acidity. When you taste the sauce, I think you'll find that
Okay.
it works. Once you've got that, can you smell that now?
I can smell it. It's burning my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a little bit of red wine. Some cheap cooking wine would be good. Is this your wine?
Just get it in.
Don't worry, that will be edited down. Right, now reduce that down. Once that's reduced down by half, you then add the stock, okay?
Yeah, right.
And that's the basis of your sauce. And you let that stock tick over for a couple of hours. Right.
Right, so that cooks for a few hours.
Yeah.
Next.
Next. Well, you've brought your goose out.
Yeah.
Right, this is what I want to show you
Yeah.
as well. So this goose has had just about 2 hours, okay? Just basically roasting. You go to it, because you can see why I put it on a trivet or a cooling rack.
Yeah.
Because that amount of fat in the bottom of it. And so then when you've cooked it, you do need to let it rest, okay?
Yeah.
So you bring it out at least half an hour before you want it, all right?
Yeah.
Did you not peel your carrots, Chef?
No, I don't like peeling carrots. This is a farmer's
This is
thing.
controversial.
No, it's not controversial. It's just not Michelin star. It's just I come from a farming community, and why would you peel carrots when you're leaving all the nice flavour on the carrots anyway? You never peel carrots. You never peel parsnips. You don't.
Cannot believe that.
You don't.
You've got to peel your parsnips.
No, you don't. I've left the peel on it.
Would you like me to try it again to see if it's worth being on the Christmas table?
Thank you very much. Just you don't need to.
And go on, and you like to cook your carrots sort of Vichy style with star
I cook
anise?
it in water, butter, and a little bit of star anise.
Oh, what? All that star anise?
Yes. And let you taste those carrots.
I've just taken the roof off my mouth. I'll be
Good
back
on
to the
it.
carrots once
Yeah,
it's...
exactly. But taste that, and then the butter and the mashed potato are all in there, and then you're about to serve up the goose, are you?
Yeah, I am.
So
I'm
basically,
ready.
I've
I'm
done
ready.
everything else.
Yeah, but you'd be Two of us at Christmas, we'll have a great laugh. We'll have some party games in a minute. Once we've got this done.
Can't wait for Twister.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Round his
Right.
neck. Sorry, carry on.
Let me pop this on,
Go on,
the,
go on, carry
on the
on.
board, please, Chef. I think you're going to like it.
It looks good. It looks really
I think you're
juicy.
going to really like it.
What's the thing about goose that makes it stand out?
It's rare, so I think that makes it stand out a little bit. And I just think it's a better flavoured bird than a duck. Okay. And then you get all this for your roast potatoes for the rest of the next 6 months.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a lot of fat.
It is a lot of fat. It is.
But you're going to put it to good use.
Absolutely. You don't just chuck it or anything like that.
Right.
So we've got all our veg. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
I don't think so. I've got my
1, 2,
sauce that I'm
3,
happening over
4.
here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Perfect.
All those. That's your veg, your mashed potato, your cabbage, your carrot.
Do you know what I love about you, Galton? You're like the everyman. Like every one of us who forgets how to cook, when to cook, but you still produce a beautiful meal.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, I can accept all of that, apart from the fact that, like I tell all the young ones in the kitchen now, I've had a staff for 22 years.
Yeah. He has had a Michelin star for 22 years.
How did that happen,
That deserves a round of applause.
And oh, look at this. This is the lushness. That fat is rendered down. Don't get rid of that. And then you start in here. Oh, my goodness.
That's something else.
That is something else. I'd make no excuses from the fact that it's better, well done. Because I think this is the way to eat it. Are you drooling, James?
I'm looking at it, Chef. I'm there thinking, we got there.
Are you not thinking, I can't wait to eat this?
Well, you're already up, because Ainsley
tell
Harriet's
you.
going to be on ITV in a minute.
No, I'm not then. I'm taking my time. Ainsley's going to have to wait. Oh, this is so good. It's like the best compy. I can't wait for you to try it, because this is probably the most confident I've been on any dish that I've done.
Wow, and what a day to do it.
I know, what a day to do it. It's a shame that it's going to be your last ever appearance on this show.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on, he's forgotten something else. What have you got?
The bit out the middle, I just want to get it out and just show you.
Oh, no, because I've seen that mashed from the tail end. And
No, it's not the appetizer, is it?
It needs showing off, it really does. From my angle, it
Can I have
really
a
does.
plate or something? Or shall I put it on
I'll have
here?
it out of the spoon.
On here? No. There. You'll get the flavour of the a goose.
Duck,
And
duck,
that's
goose.
it.
You've really saw that. You're going to get the flavour of a goose's backside. That's Galton Blackiston's Christmas. There you go. Happy Christmas. Give us the name of this dish then.
So it's a traditional roasted goose with all the trimmings, with the goose gravy, with the goose fat mashed potato and James's mashed potatoes. You get a double whammy, roasted parsnips, Vichy carrots, braised red cabbage.
You deserve a drink. Galton Blackiston, everybody!
Thank you.
Legend, bud.
Cheers.
It's your first time to try this, so dive into this. We'll give you a little bit more sauce to go over the top
You
of
don't have
it.
to ask me twice for this.
Oh, look at it.
My first Christmas meal.
Taste it with the parsnips,
Everything.
the carrots, the cabbage, the mashed potato.
Nervous.
Oh my goodness me! I've never tasted anything like it in my life. That
nice.
is sensational.
Is it?
There's the creaminess of the gravy, but the goose melts Absolutely.
It does melt, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does feel, because you
all
said
right,
it
all
was...
right. Just taste the mashed potato.
I'll get into your
all right,
mash.
all right. Just
You know, it's
taste the mashed potato, because this'll send you over the edge. Just taste. Forget about the one up its backside. Taste the proper one.
I mean, James's creamy mash,
Thank you very much.
that has a worldwide reputation.
There you go.
But let me talk about the goose
Come on,
mash
right.
that came out.
Now there'll be some more delicious recipes. No, we're reading this. There'll be more delicious recipes from Gareth Ward, and top chocolatier Mark Tilley will be with us a little bit later. But you're right there.
Yeah.
You're happy, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Happy Christmas, buddy. We'll see you back here in a couple of minutes when I'll be treating Ori and Fred Sirieix to the ultimate hot Christmas sandwich. But I need that smell of burnt goose out of the oven first. Can you take that out of the oven? Welcome back to Christmas Day at my house. Now, coming up, I'm wrapping a very special recipe from Mr. Gareth Ward, and top chocolatier Mark Tilley will be whipping up some of his epic creations a little bit later. But first, I'm here in the kitchen with Oduba, and also we're joined by everybody's favourite Frenchman, first date star Fred Sirieix.
How are you?
Good to have you. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Yes.
And what I love about this Frenchman, he brings drinks with him as well. So you're going to be making a cocktail for us all, really?
Yeah, but I wanted to keep it simple, you know, because at Christmas, everybody gets stressed all the time. You know, I don't want to get a shaker out. I just wanted to get a very simple cocktail, build it in a glass, get Ore to help me, and voila, job done.
While you're doing that, I'm thinking about leftovers this Christmas. I'm thinking about if everybody's got leftover bits and pieces, you've got some turkey, you've got some ham, you've got bits and pieces. I'm going to show you the ultimate Christmas sandwich. So this is a bit epic, this one. I'm going to, first of all, start with this bread, like this, and hollow it out. But first of all, I want to say congratulations to Fred, because your daughter, what a year.
I mean, incredible, and she's...
Deserves a round of applause.
Oh,
Thank
it
you.
does.
Those people who don't know about it, where you've been, but explain to what your daughter's been up to and what she's done this year. I mean, it's just been incredible.
Well, she's been diving since she's 7 years old. You know, she was doing a talent spotting day at school, and the club said, yeah, come and try. And, you know, when you're a little girl and you're quite sporty, and all she had to do really is just jump from the pool side into the water. And then you just graduate from, you know, one dive to more complicated dives. And, you know, at 15 years old, not even 15 years old, she was the British champion. She was the best ranked Brit in the Olympics when she was just 16. And now she's won the Commonwealth Game and the European Championship. Back to back.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Really, really. Very proud dad you can see there.
I don't get bored to talk about it.
Well, I know you don't. That's why I wanted to talk to you about as well. So I'm going to hollow out this loaf that we got over here. Meanwhile, you're making... What cocktail are you making for us as well?
Well, it's a very simple gin-based cocktail, and I'm using a gin called G-Vine, which is produced in Cognac in France, using 100% grapes. So it's very special, very smooth, very balanced, really, really delicious. So it's just very simple, little bit of grenadine, a little bit of lemon juice.
Right.
And I'm going to top it up with ginger beer. With grenadine, I don't like to put too much, just a little dash like that for the colour.
It's not a bad Christmas day, is it?
And the sweetness.
This is a bit of me.
Well, you've been a bit busy, haven't you, really? Pantomime taking over your life.
I mean,
not just Strictly took over your life for a period of time.
I mean,
You're glutton for punishment, are you?
My father-in-law was like, you're playing the dame, right? You're the panto dame. No, right in the throngs of Sleeping Beauty at the Marlow Theatre in Canterbury.
Yeah.
It's my second pantomime, and I love it. It's such a family-filled, it's just such an amazing tradition that we have in this country that I feel so proud to be able to do. And it is something for everybody. It's something for the adults and something for the kids. The kids love it. They come and seeing all the lights, and they love hearing the music. And then the parents love the adult gags.
See, I can see you doing that, Fred.
Yeah, I mean, look, why not? You never know. I mean, I love to have fun, you know, and...
Well, I know, because you've just been recently, you've been out and about, you've got some Christmas specials coming up. Tell us about those.
Well, it's called World Cook. I'm doing it with Emma Willis, and it's basically an international cooking competition.
Lovely.
So we started with 16 chefs, and now there's only 2 for the final.
This is global.
This is global,
What,
yes.
Is it countries competing against each other? Is that the idea, or...?
Yes, so 16 chefs started to compete, and what we had them compete head-to-head. So, for example, we had Spain versus Mexico, America versus Germany, and then we whittled it down to 8, and then to 4, and then 2 for the final. And
you've got. I mean, there's so much things that I could talk about with you as well, but not just that. I have to talk about this because this is the book that I think people have been waiting for. Because I mean, I love wine, as you know, and not that I consume a bit of it on this show, but I do like my wine. But there's so often with guides and bits and pieces, it goes into genetic compound of a grape, and what's great about
boring is that?
It is boring. This gives you a little insight and a little history with it. It's really, I mean, it's a great book.
Well,
great
thank
read.
you. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Well, it's the book that I always wanted to write too, because, you know, I love wine.
Have a look at that, Dave.
And, but, you know, it can be so pretentious and so pompous, and I wanted to make it accessible and fun for people so that they can have enough information, enough knowledge to go to a supermarket and choose the wine that they like, or go to a restaurant and just feel confident to order wine and to make sure that they get the wine that they want, the wine that they like. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to turn into a master of wine by reading this book, but you will have the knowledge, you will have the information. You know, it gives you all you need to know about how to make wine, how to store wine, a little bit about the grapes and the wine regions. Thank you very much. Thank you for promoting my book. Thank you, Ore. I'm going to give you a kiss. Thank you very much.
That's Christmas, mate.
There you go, you're
That's
sorted.
Christmas. Can you just sign that there for me, Fred?
I will.
Thank you so much. No, I've got to say, because seeing you, Fred, and seeing your daughter's performance in the summer completely blew me away, because as a parent as well, and seeing my kids just regularly get hit in the face with tennis balls because they can't catch yet. Admittedly, one's only one, so give her time. Roman is 5, so he should know better. But when you well, you know, there's time for them. But when you get your kids to a certain age, and then you just have to let them fly. And she literally soared in the summer. I can't imagine. And you were there. See, I love when you shared the moments on social media.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
Like giving your genuine father's eye view of seeing her just, well, take over the world. Incredible.
But you know, she started when she was 7. I mean, she was winning competitions that she shouldn't have won when she was 13 and 14. 15, she was very young British champion. So, you know, she didn't come from nowhere from me, you know, and from the family. She's been doing that since she's a little girl. So, for her to win the Commonwealth game and the European Championship back-to-back within a couple of weeks of each other, I wasn't surprised because of all the hard work she's been doing, and I've been watching her in training, and the quality of the diving before these competitions was insane. And it's all about the quality of the diving, but, you know, it's about the mindset, because she had a competition in May, and, you know, the Commonwealth game was in July, and in May, she was in Budapest for the World Championship. She did not make it to the semi-final. Wow. Because, you know, it wasn't working for her mentally. But as she approached the Commonwealth game, you know, everything came together, you know, the physical and the mental side, you know, and boom, and she just did it.
So tell everybody about the pantomime. When's it on? How long are you on for? When are you doing it?
So we've been on since November the 25th, and we go through till the first week of January. We're at the Marlow Theatre in Canterbury. And actually, there was no pressure going into it because it was the reigning panto of the year. I mean, I can't take anything on the Commonwealth Games, but the national panto, gold medal winning panto was mine.
And you played...
Well, I appreciate that. And then I took it over.
You are taking credit for it,
We
yes.
brought the level completely down.
And you're playing?
And I play the Prince in Sleeping Beauty, but I'll be honest, they're called, and I genuinely thought that they wanted me to play Beauty because I'm always tired. I'm always tired, Fred. I would have given Sleeping Beauty a run for money. So, no, I play the Prince, and we've got an amazing cast. Ben Roddy plays our Dame. Max Fulham plays an amazing, really, really impressive brand new sort of puppeteer and impression. So he's great. So we're having a great...
It's taking pantomime to another level, isn't it?
It does. I mean, it's a musical theatre performance just supersized with all the lights and all the music and all the noise, and it's great to just be a part of. Sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, I should be speaking lines. I'm just taking it all in. So
I think it's brilliant. So best of luck with it. Best of luck with both of you anyway. Look, we've just got to hit this. This goes in the oven now, and you want to put it in the oven for about sort of 35, 40 minutes. Look at this.
Incredible. And do you know what the nice thing is? Because in Panto, you don't usually have Boxing Day. You don't have a chance to do the leftovers because by the time you get to it at the end of the 27th, 28th, it's all gone. So this will be my Boxing Day for the next 5 years.
This is... And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this.
Wow, I can't wait to try that.
So it's...
Half each?
Yeah.
So it's crunchy.
Let's give him a slice.
It's melted. You got that.
Oh la la! Look at that!
And this comes with gym membership for the next year. Happy Christmas. Now, normally I would let my guests to dive into this, but this is like molten lava at the moment, so it gives us time to finish off this drink. Cheers. Happy Christmas, guys. Thank you very much for it. These guys are going to be sticking around for the rest of the day as well. Singing sensation Carly Paoli will be chatting and performing later. And don't miss my Christmassy masterclass in sticky toffee pudding roulade. That's coming up shortly. But make sure you're back after the break when Fred and I will be tucking into an amazing recipe from the double Michelin star chef, Mr. Gareth Ward. His UK restaurant is just #1 in the whole of the UK. #1. That's coming up after the break. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Now we're teaching you how to make an incredible sticky toffee pudding roulade in today's little masterclass. And classical singer Carly Paoli will be performing for us in just a few minutes. But first, with a Christmas cracker of a dish, comes a 2 Michelin star chef from the UK's #1 restaurant. It's Mr. Gareth Ward. Fred Sirieix as well. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, mate. I brought something for you.
Yeah, I love this
little
chap.
Christmas gift.
So, this is a Christmas present to me?
This is a Christmas present well, it's actually from a good friend of mine, but I passed it on. It's
what is it?
It's a fat-tail lamb from Wales, North Wales. A good friend of mine is trying to introduce these into the Welsh lamb market.
Right.
Brilliant, beautiful fat-tail
lamb.
Fat-tail, apparently a lot better for you than normal lamb. I'll let you have that.
So I just take this. Oh, thanks very much.
There you go.
Cheers.
You can have that. Put it in your fridge.
Right, I'm going to go over there while you wash your hands.
Take my head off with that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's
Go on then. Tell me what you're doing then while I sort this out.
Yeah, you get that in there.
What are you going to be making?
Today I'm making black cod, miso cured black cod.
Right.
And we're going to serve that with a little bit of sauce made out of the miso cure and some pork fat. And some
you made this really light.
That's because he's very strong.
Exactly.
Go on, James, get it in there, mate.
Right, there you go.
And we're going to serve that with some beautiful caviar from N25. And then after that, we serve it with a little bit of cod soup, which we make out of all the trim.
You're smoking me out already. So
Yeah,
this is blackened cod that's been initiated.
Yeah, so it's proper black cod. This is it here.
Right.
It's not cod. I think it's actually a member of the eel family, as far as I know.
Right.
It's very fatty. It's beautiful. Obviously, classically, it's always done with a miso cure.
Right.
And then barbecued. So this is your miso cure.
Can we taste it?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, it tastes
Dip
amazing.
your finger in there and have a taste of it.
So what we need to do next is
Very good.
we're just going to prep this fish. So I'm just going to take one side of this off. Just
Now
follow-
you salt chamber this as well.
Yeah, so
don't
this
you?
has been the process at the restaurant is we have a salt chamber, Himalayan salt chamber, and we have -80 freezers. So when you get our fish in, we take it down to -80, and that's like sashimi grade. So then you can eat it raw. You know, changes the texture, changes the flavour. It's a game
That's
changer.
shellfish as well. That's
Everything,
lobster.
yeah. You can take lobster out of the shell raw without any blanching. So it means you can eat a lobster raw without any of that blanching.
Right.
You can remove crab from the shell without blanching it.
Right, okay.
So it means you can cook crab over the barbecue like a steak, you know, and you can have it like jelly because of the
So, but
texture.
how did you work out that technique?
I've known him for this so many years, and I haven't got a clue.
How do you work this out?
It's just a lot of research, a lot of talking to people I know. You know, the -80 freezer has been the biggest game changer in my restaurant. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, but how many people use that technique in the world? There can't be many.
There can't be many, no.
A lot of people now, because that's where the COVID vaccine used to be kept. So
Yeah.
there's plenty of those for sale in a minute.
We had loads of COVID vaccines. I was renting my freezers out. So, yeah, we just take this off the bone. Nice and simple.
Lovely cut.
Yeah, this fish is absolutely outrageous. I absolutely love it. It's so fatty. And we're just going to trim it up ever so gently.
But what's the thing? You've got this amazing sign when you walk into your restaurant. What's the sign?
It's fat-fueled, meat-obsessed, and, yeah, whatever else. I forget what it says nowadays. Yeah, it's just us. It just explains. It's all about flavour-driven, you know.
Yeah.
Ingredients, all about ingredients. The ingredients are what keep us going. That's what we push, you know. And if you've got amazing ingredients and keep it simple, you're on for a winner, aren't you? So we're just going to pop these into the bowl like so.
Yeah.
So this, like I said, this fish has been frozen to -80 and in the salt chamber. So you can already feel it's changed texture. It's gone so like pliable because it's beautiful, soft.
Yeah.
It's going to melt in your mouth.
And I've got myself a little salt chamber. Treated myself to one 2 years ago. But when you take fish and put it in there,
it's outrageous.
When you think of mackerel, you think, oh, fresh, it's best.
Yeah.
And,
no.
But mackerel in there?
We age mackerel for a week on the bone. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. It takes away that moisture. You know, it just melts in the mouth. Tuna, bluefin tuna is insane. We have hamachi in there as well. The hamachi is probably one of my favourite fish in the world. But hamachi aged for a week is incredible.
I'm salivating.
So the fish, that goes into the miso cure there, and we just leave this for 8 hours in the fridge, and it just really cures. And then what happens is this miso cure goes really wet because it pulls out the moisture from the fish. And that's what we... I didn't used to use it, but then I thought, this is a waste because that's full of fish flavour. That's unbelievable. So we make this sauce out of it. So this is that miso cure reduced down.
Right.
And then we put the fish into some pork fat, Iberico pork fat, just for a laugh. And then what we're going to do with this now...
Where do you get your ideas from? You must have hundreds of applications for chefs wanting to work with you.
We get a lot of people wanting to come and work at the restaurant. It's obviously a beautiful part of the world, so people want to be there. And it's just...
And what's
it's a good
amazing,
laugh.
it's just your partner runs the front of house.
Yeah, she smashes it in. She's amazing. And I've got Corin in the kitchen, who's my head chef. He's incredible. He's been with me like 5 years. So
Go on then, chef. I know you want to do this.
Yeah, so this is just been really gently in that water.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're just going to give it a little smoke over the barbecue. As you can see there, the fat obviously comes off the fish and just goes onto the coals, and that's when you get that really nice smoke.
It smells very nice, actually.
Yeah, and that's all you want, that. You don't want any more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's it.
It's warm. It's served warm. It's just warm. It's very, very delicate. You don't... If too much heat and you'll kill it, it'll be done.
Right, next, where are we going?
So, obviously, we're going to get some plates up because we're going to dress some plates.
Look at these plates.
Yeah, they're really cool. So how would you describe your cuisine there? I mean, is it Japanese? Is it world cuisine? How would you describe it?
It's Gareth Ward's.
I have no idea. We call it fun dine, not fine dine, because it is about having some fun. You know, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Right, so the fish is obviously done there now. We're just going to give it a little season. This is a salt mixed with a little bit of bonito in it. So we're just going to give it a little season there.
Bonito is the
dried
tuna.
Fish. Yeah. And then we're going to just going to serve this up for you.
Yeah.
So we'll just pick the nicest bits. That's nice and flaky. And we're not going to cut it. We're just going to flake it.
Of course.
Yeah. Like so. Just flake it apart.
I mean, you can tell now. I didn't know that the black cod was from the family of the hill.
Yeah,
but you can tell.
You can tell. It's the
Yeah.
fattiness, I suppose.
Yeah, and they get so fatty, man. They change, obviously, during the seasons. So we're just going to spoon over. You only need a tiny bit of this, because obviously it's quite powerful. You don't want to kill the fish. Just spoon over a little bit of that. And then we've got this. This, for me, is the best caviar in the world. This is a Kaluga, so it's a Kaluga sturgeon. It is like eating salted butter. So, obviously, you need a bit of caviar on there, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is Christmas, isn't it?
The problem with caviar is there's never enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is... there's a bit inside. Leave it there.
Yeah, that's
natural,
good.
isn't it? It's beautiful, that, isn't it? There you go, just a bit of that on top, because obviously, when can you not have caviar on anything?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a very simple presentation. It's
Yeah.
What about this in here?
So this here, this is just... So, obviously, you've got the bones, which I said before, which are just aged.
Right.
So we salt them, like, because I don't want to waste anything at the restaurant. So they're salted down for a week, then they're washed off really quickly, and then they put in the salt chamber, they dry out, and then we make a real simple velouté. So it's like a salt cod soup, we call it. Obviously, there is waste, you know, you can't use everything. It's as simple as that. Like, some things just have to go in the bin. But if you can help not put it in the bin,
Absolutely love it.
that's great.
That's not my stomach. That's the fridge behind me kicking off.
No, it's not. It's your stomach.
No, it's not the fridge.
I've heard that stomach before.
It's the fridge.
So we get a bit of that in there. So this comes as a little two-part dish. So you get that
Love
first,
this.
and while you're
Look
eating
at
that,
this.
this comes out after. And this, obviously, cod, parsley, butter. Why not, innit?
Yeah, why not?
And there you go.
So give us the name of this dish then.
So this is miso cured black cod with pork fat and caviar, and then a little salt cod soup with parsley oil and some more butter.
You're about to taste something utterly amazing.
I can't
Gareth
wait.
Ward, everybody.
Thank
There
you.
we go. So what's the idea? Is you eat this and then eat that?
Yeah,
Or
it's
you
like
eat
the
a bit of
restaurant.
both?
You'll get this one first, and then when they clear that one, they'll bring you the soup to try afterwards.
Okay.
And look at the cutlery.
Yeah.
This is brilliant.
It's brilliant, eh?
It's like they say you shouldn't eat caviar with anything metal, shouldn't you? Because it taints it. But this one, it doesn't actually, because of the way caviar is. But
I want to see Fred's reaction.
This just melts in your mouth. It just melts in your mouth. Let me try it with the caviar now.
it's nice, isn't it?
Oh. Oh la la. Oh my God.
It's unbelievable, no?
Oh my God, the flavour.
It is.
So unctuous, so rich.
It's everything about it. It's just
Yeah.
incredible. There you have Gareth Ward, everybody. You need to come back and show me how to do that lamb
yeah,
as well.
I'll go
Exactly.
over
Amazing. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Right, we've still got loads more to come. But first, we're heading outside for a Christmassy treat from the chart-topping classical singer, Carly Paoli. Take it away.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide songs being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. So I'm offering a simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Frosty the snowman had to hurry on his way, but he waved goodbye saying, "Don't you cry, I'll be back on Christmas Day." Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. So have yourself a merry little Christmas
How amazing is that? How amazing is that? My ears just suddenly recovered. Amazing, amazing. Right, I'll be cooking for Carly very shortly. How good was that? And we got another musical surprise at the end of the show. That involves me and a guitar. But anyway, down to the pub. But join me again after the break. We've got a masterclass in sticky toffee pudding roulade. Just what you need for Christmas. See you after the break. That was fantastic. Welcome back. Now I'll be serving up a showstopper of a dish for classical singer Carly Paoli later. But first, it's time for this week's little masterclass. And today I'm giving you a step-by-step guide to make an incredible sticky toffee pudding roulade. This is really, really special for Christmas. So what's the difference between a roulade and a cake? Well, fundamentally, it's the amount of flour that you add. Usually in a cake mix, it's about half the amount of flour. You have to then compensate it for other things. So classical sponge, you can get away with half flour, but with a roulade like this, we then add meringue as well to it. So classically with a sticky toffee pudding, we've got the same ingredients, but without the butter. The butter comes in for the sauce for this one. So the first thing we do is separate the eggs and the egg yolks, because we want the whites in one bowl, then we want the yolks in another bowl, because we whisk this up in sort of two separate parts. So that goes in. So there we go. Just break them open like that, or as this crew does. Everybody does his tongue at the same time. And then you dip a little shell in, you do that. We ain't got time for that sort of stuff. Right, look. So the sugar goes in here. So I'm using brown sugar because you get a little bit of colour from it. You're going to get plenty of flavour anyway from the sauce itself. But what we're going to do is whisk this all up. So this is the egg yolks and the sugar. And whisk this up to a little sort of sabayon, really. That's what we want to whisk this up to. So we'll lose that to one side. Now, at the same time now, we've got our egg whites. We can then sort our dates out and prepare our little mould that it's going to go into. So the dates, first of all. And this is where the confusion lies. A lot of people think this is a British, UK dessert. I'm not too sure. I think it comes from Canada because I don't know many places in the UK that grow dates, to be honest with you. But I think this is where the origins of this come from. There is classical places where it comes from, particularly the Lake District. There's a place in Scotland where it's said to originate from as well. But I'm probably going the ways of Shara Bay, that famous hotel that was owned by Brian Sack and Francis Coulson back when I was training as a young kid as a chef. We can prepare our little mould now, and I'm using a classic Swiss roll tin with some paper. And what you want to do is just cut the paper to size, like that. We'll just trim that through there. And then you've had practice this Christmas anyway, getting this right. And the best way to do this, if you've got a tin like this, to stop it having any little creases in, is to cut it through here, a couple of inches, straight into the corners like that. Now this works with any sort of square tin is what you want with that. Lose that out of the way. Now you can keep your eye on your dates as well. Take a little bit of butter. The butter that I've got for the little bit of sauce will be fine. And we're just gonna go around the edge here. This just helps the paper stick. And then what we can do is then pop the paper on it. When you're happy and you've got these creases, these cuts in the edges, then you just push to the edges. And you can see, very, very simply, it just makes corners without the creases. So it's a good little tip there if you're doing anything like a Swiss roll or anything like a roulade. This is now ready. We can take this off. So you can see now we've got our mixture, and it goes in this, oh, there you go. It goes into our sort of lovely sabayon-y sort of mixture. That kind of mixture, that's what we're looking for. Very light, very airy, that's what we want. Now, change the bowl. I'm gonna move that to one side, just keep that to one side. And next we can then concentrate on our meringue. So pop our egg whites in, this on, and do the same again. Now this is quite quick, there's only a couple of egg whites for this. So what we've got in here for this one is we've got a little bit of sugar as well. So there's only few ingredients left. We've got some flour, I've got some baking powder, and what I would do with the baking powder is this. As soon as you add this to this warm mixture, it reacts. So what we want to do is just add it to the flour, like that. This is classically in your sticky toffee pudding as well. But this is what I call as a hot sponge. So as soon as you put this mixture all together with the warm dates and everything else, it actually starts to work and it actually starts to react with the bicarb soda in here. So you want to be quick when you're mixing this together. But first thing we're going to do is puree this. Now, I'm using a little stick blender over here. You can use a blender, but what you want to do is you want to get this to a puree. There we go. Just quick blend. And this will go to a nice little sort of paste that we want. In essence, this is a very, very quick little dessert to make. The cooking time of it is really quick, particularly with a sponge like this. So once you've got to that stage, we can add our sugar. Straight in. That gives our meringue side of it. Take this off. And then this is where we incorporate everything together. This is a quick bit, really. But you need to make sure you've got everything ready. And I mean everything ready. You've got your mixture blended. The important thing is your oven set, ready. Everything's to hand because you're not waiting for anything. This happens quite quickly. So what you need to do, like I said, as soon as you add that mixture, that bicarb soda to this, it will start to react. So the first thing we do is pop our dates in the mixture, like that. The next thing we can do is add our flour straight in. The next thing we do is add half of our egg white. Then you grab a whisk. Then we're going to bring all this lot together quite quickly. See, I'm not really folding it in classically the way of folding it in. We get this thing in the oven as quick as possible. So if you're stood there messing around, folding a figure of 8 in, making little pretty patterns in your sponge, you end up with a pancake when we're finished. There, it's all mixed together. Just check that it's all from the bottom, which that's pretty good. Have a little taste, because as you would do, yes, that tastes of sticky toffee pudding. Tastes lovely. And then all you do is you grab, look at this, still light, but you can actually see, that's that bicarb while it's starting to work. You can actually see it rise, look, as you put it in the tray. So you want to be quite quick at this. There you go. Set yourself a timer. It's got to be in the oven within a minute. Like that. So, a bit of that over the top. And then, straight in the oven. 200 degrees. Wants to go in there for about sort of 12 minutes. Like a classical sponge would do. Or a Swiss roll would do. Right, while we're doing that, that goes in here. Next, very simple sauce. This is a low-fat version of a sticky toffee pudding sauce. Well, if you want one, I don't know where there is one, but it's butter, double cream, bit of sugar, some golden syrup, and black treacle. So you take a little bit of black treacle, like that. There you go. A little bit of golden syrup. And then a touch of bourbon. Now, you can use a little bit of rum, you can nick Granny's little bit of brandy, just a little bit, just a touch of that. That goes in here. And then what we do is we bring all this to the boil. And that's it, really. You just boil it all up, and you get this amazing sticky toffee pudding sauce. So give it a quick whisk. Sometimes it'll catch. And, of course, we need to have a little taste of this just to check. That bourbon does make a lot of difference. It really, really does. It's great. I know it's not classic, but it really, really does. Right, we got in here our nice little pudding, which has just been allowed to cool slightly. So you wouldn't do this while it's still warm. You can let it go cold if you want. Grab yourself a tea towel. Now, the classic way of doing a Swiss roll is this. And you keep it the same. So we get a little bit of sugar over there. And then you can get your sponge and tip it over. Now, if you were doing this with a classic Swiss roll and you were entering a WI competition, you wanted absolutely perfect with no cracks and everything else into it, what you do is just dampen the tea towel. But we're not doing that, because a day like today, you've got stuff everywhere, including in my house. I've never seen so many people in this house. Coach loads. Look, we just take that off like that. And then, when you've got your sticky toffee pudding sauce, look at that. Look at that. Oh, good, look at it. You then take this. Now, if you're really daring, and you want to, but might push people over the edge this Christmas, you can then spread clotted cream in it. Do you know what? While I'm thinking about this, do you know what? It's Christmas. I'm putting clotted cream in it. I'm changing the recipe. This is what's happening. And we're just taking this. This is, look at that, this is, there. And we'll put that. A bit of that. Now, if you're watching Bake Off, this isn't it, all right? But this is flavour, this is food. I don't want it to look pretty, I want it to taste amazing, which is what food should do. Look, then what you want to do is roll this up. So you take your tea towel, tuck it over like that, and you roll. And you roll. We've got that. Now, if you want to be a bit Christmassy, you can go out and get a bit of holly, but it's just, to be honest with you, I've had enough of it. But look, you then take a knife Je t'aime, je t'aime. Look at that. We're not finished there yet, because what you need is this. This looks all right as it is, but you need this. Now, the great thing about this, if you want to reheat this sticky toffee pudding, you can microwave it. You can pop it in the oven. It's entirely up to you. But look at that. And then, obviously, just because you need continuity of a dish, continuity and flavour of a dish, you then take a chunk of clotted cream. That goes with it. Happy Christmas, the James Martin version of a Yule log. Nice. Done. Still to come this Christmas, I'll be whipping up a classic Italian fish stew for singer Carly Paoli. But I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes when Mark Tilling, the real-life Willy Wonka of Winchester, will be working his magic in this very kitchen. He's brilliant. But can he match this? Can he quite possibly match this? Not a chance. Welcome back. Now we're serving up a final show-stopping dish of my very own shortly before we head off down to the pub for a Christmas party. But first, the only thing that's better than this man's taste in Christmas jumpers is the awards he keeps winning for his creations. It's from Bake Off Creme de la Creme winner. It's the brilliant Mr. Mark Tilling. Another fine jumper there. Another fine jumper. Carly, you just happen to be choosing the cooking item that's you've got chocolate here as well.
This is far too tempting.
Exactly, goes with this as well. It's pretty impressive, though, isn't it?
It's incredible. This is a masterpiece.
So we're going to get on to how you made this in a minute, because I know you want to get on and do this bit first. So what are we going to be making this?
So we're going to do a gingerbread choux bun with a caramel and hazelnut praline mousse.
Of course we are.
Of course we are.
Of course we are. It's just what you're going to do this Christmas lunchtime.
Exactly. OK, so...
You're doing your house.
So we've got some milk. We're going to do the choux pastry first. So we've got milk, we've got some water.
So you use a combination of milk and water for your
you could just use water, you could just use milk, it's not a problem. A little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and then we're going to flavour this as well with a little bit of the gingerbread spice.
I love these containers. Every time he comes here, he just brings little bootfuls of different things, little containers and stuff. So we're going to warm this up.
Yeah, and we're going to put the butter in as well.
OK.
Right. OK, so we can pop in the flour. And I've sipped that as well.
I like how I'm your sort of commie chef while we're doing this as well.
I quite like this.
You're normally doing this. You're normally doing this, but I've just suddenly... I've just stood here going, why have I just chosen this bit and not that over there? Right, OK.
I'll just finish this off.
Exactly.
Carry on.
Right. So then what you want to do, once we get to that stage...
we're going to pop it into the mixer.
Right. Are you going to do something at some point?
I can do this if you want, you know.
I'm just going to
say... Shall I take over?
Can I go over here by the chocolate thing? Is that all right?
So ideally, just let it cool just slightly, and then we're just going to start to add the egg. And a lot of people, what they don't get right is, in a recipe, it will say how many eggs do you need. But you may need slightly more, you may need slightly less. It's about how it looks. You want more of a...
This is it. I always say with pastry, people say it's an exact science. It's basically looking at it as well, most importantly.
Exactly.
But particularly nowadays, because the flour can vary massively, can't
it? Absolutely.
So where did your love of chocolate start? Because I've known you for many, many... I'm going to say decades. We've known
it probably is.
It's not far off decades, is it? It's probably over 30 years now.
Yeah, probably.
So when I was a head chef down the road of a hotel down in Winchester, and then you were this genius whiz kid on pastry at this other hotel.
In the better hotel up the other end.
Competition hotel.
OK.
Yeah, we were busier. but you were this whiz kid. Where did that sort of transition? Were you always doing it there, or
so I did
you
a
had
bit
more
there.
time on your hands because you weren't as busy? Go on.
No. So, I started chocolate there and then just got a fascination with it and, realising what you can do with it, like this sort of type of showpiece, to little chocolates, to cakes, to entremets, things like that. And it's an amazing ingredient. Even the history and obviously the way it's produced as well. It's fantastic.
Well, it is. And you're going to mix this up, because what I want to get to as well, because he brought this book this Christmas, and there's cookbooks and the cookbooks. And you can tell this cookbook by listening to the sound of it when it hits the deck. Look at this thing. Look at this. It's like a Bible of but it's not a Bible of... The great thing about this, it's a Bible of every type of chocolate that you wish to make.
So it's anything from chocolate bars to little bonbons to ice cream gelato, to everything you want to know. Right.
You're giving away everything. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's a serious.
But I was serious, isn't it? Look at the size of that thing. It's fantastic,
Amazing.
fantastic. There you have it. Right, so fire away. What are we going to do next?
So something I do slightly different, and not a lot of people sort of at home would do this, but if you get one of these silicone mats with a little half sphere, this is a 4 centimetre. We can actually do our shoe pastry in this.
Yeah.
So you can always guarantee you're going to get the same size.
Well, it's
when you do
particularly
your
when
shoe.
you turn this out. That's the key to it, really. I do this with cheese shoe as well. We do. I don't know, but you do it with this. It's to get that. Carly's looking on here just to thinking...
No, I do the same thing all the time.
You do the same.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed.
But the key to that is getting the shape more than anything else as well.
Shape. And also, what we're going to do is we're going to freeze them.
Yeah.
And that's really good because you can store them in the freezer in a plastic tub. So you can make loads of mix, keep making them in one tray, keep freezing and popping them out, a bit like an ice cube.
Yeah.
And then you can just get them out of the oven out the freezer when you need them, and then bake them off. And it's really good to cook them. Just sort of leave them out for about 5 minutes before you put them in the oven, and because it's been frozen, the steam creates a really good puff inside, so it should be pretty empty inside.
But the key to it, to get this texture that we've got over there, is this bit that we've got over here.
Yes.
So once you've got those,
freeze them down.
Freeze them. I'll lose that out of the way for you.
Let's just pop these on just to show you.
Show you what it looks like. Look.
So this is the... So you just pop them out, pop them on the tray.
Galton's thinking he's gonna have this plastic tray. That's going back to Norfolk. Yeah. When the hotel reopens, that's all of a sudden it'll be on the menu, Mark, and it'll be on social media going, look what I've learned on my travels around the globe.
So just leave a little distance in between, just like so, and get rid of that. And then...
You make things look so easy, though.
It's my job.
Oh, well, exactly.
And
So
then,
just while you're doing that, how do you make that?
how do you make that? Well...
Without going to the supermarket and buying the entire shelf of chocolate bars?
so it's just all... It's a bit like a flat pack piece of furniture.
Of course it is, yeah.
You know, you just make everything flat pack and then you just build it all up. It's easy. Everybody can do it.
Oh, yeah, everybody can do it.
I dare you to nick a piece off it.
Do you know, you can nick a piece.
Oh, I don't know. No, I can't do
Yeah,
that.
of course you can.
Go on.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Trust me.
The house could come down.
See, okay,
Carly,
but-
when the show's over, the crew won't give a damn. Honestly, it'll be,
okay.
like it's been
I'm
brought
I'm
home.
going in. I'm
Go on.
going in.
Go on.
Right.
I'm going for this one that looks...
What is that one?
Oh, that's a bit of the gold chocolate with the stamps.
Okay.
I'm going to show you on this.
Oh, they're the stamps that you
beautiful.
got.
Yeah. So there we go. It's all...
So you would leave that a little bit before you
you
put
can
them in
leave
the
it
oven?
sort of 5 minutes and then pop them in the oven,
Yeah.
and then you get those.
And then you get them. Well, I've set the oven, so I'm going to cook these on anyway
Okay.
for my supper tonight.
So that's
These
cool.
ones.
So we're going to do the mousse to go inside.
Okay.
So really easy, simple mousse. We got some cream.
And then I'll thicken this up while you
Yeah.
tell us about this amazing chocolate. I'm sure the guys would like to try a little bit of this chocolate.
Yeah, do you want
'cause
to try a
this,
little?
I would
this
not
is,
say no.
This is unbelievable.
So
What
this is
is
gold
this?
chocolate. So this is a caramelised chocolate. So it's not a caramelised flavour. It's actually we actually caramelised the chocolate
Caramelise
itself.
the chocolate itself.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Beautiful.
Really nice, isn't it? Really nice.
Really, really lovely.
Really creamy. Really. Got
Right,
a little
so-
bit of salt in there as well, so that gives that whole
I'm there
sort
with
of
this. Do you
caramel.
want this
So
in?
straight onto there.
Okay.
That'd be great.
That's that. So that's your custardy custard.
Yeah. So I'll take that.
There you
Let's
go.
just give that a mix.
There you go.
So that's just going to melt that down.
What is the not to like about your job? Do you know what I mean? Of all the jobs,
I get to work and taste chocolate every
there's
single day.
There's nothing to not like, is it really?
I know. No, it's a good job. I love my job.
Right, so once we mix that together, you add the praline
Add
bits
the
and
praline.
pieces, and we
Need
got
to melt
one in
that a
a
little bit
little
more.
bag. So you want me to do that?
Yeah, let's pop this in.
There you go.
So a little bit of hazelnut praline.
Yeah.
And then we're going to fold in some whipped cream. Just at the end here. Just semi-whipped. We don't want it too much.
I'm back to working again. I like this.
I know, I quite like this.
How do I end up doing this again?
You haven't done the washing out yet, though.
No.
Oh, well, exactly. Now I know why he wears that jumper. It's all over me. Look.
Yeah, definitely can't see anything.
Oh,
on
no,
this.
you can't. Yeah. Right, so once this is whipped
right.
up, you put one in a little piping bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got our little shoe buns here. So we're just going to cut off the tops, like so.
I'm loving this.
Get the good ones.
Roughly, how long do you cook
He's
those
looking at that
for?
shoe pastry going, that's perfect, isn't it? Because I'm looking at the same, going, well, look, that is a good recipe for shoe pastry,
Yeah,
isn't
it is. It's learning all the time, isn't it?
So we've got a little bit of
Oh, look at that.
the mousse. It's very silent, isn't it?
Carly's looking at that going, is that possible to do for this Christmas? Or is it...
And then we can put the lids back on.
Do you think that's one bite?
They all look perfect. Look at them.
And then just to finish that off, we're going to do a little decoration. So I've got here some tempered red chocolate. So just white chocolate coloured red.
Yeah.
Just take a little bit of that.
Would you call that a domestic tempering machine? Or is that a commercial one?
It's sort of in between the two, really. You could use it commercially, or you know, a lot of chefs do have it if they want small bits of chocolate tempered, keeping a little bit. Yeah, it's for both.
So has it got water in it, this, or is it just...
No, it's a dry bain-marie, so we don't really want to work with any water around the bain-marie, so it's good for that. It's a
Looking
good little...
for somebody pastry cook next Christmas. There you go.
So I've got a little wax seal here. It says Merry Christmas.
Right.
And we're going to freeze it. So always freeze the top. Don't freeze it that way, because one thing, it drips on your hands, it's really cold, and it can burn you. And also you'd fill in all the details of the actual wax seal, and then you're going to grab...
Where'd you get them from?
Just the internet.
No, the freeze
this.
spray.
From anywhere, just internet. Yeah, you can get it.
I could see Galton arriving.
sorts of
Get a
places.
fire extinguisher for Christmas. That's next year. 7 litres of it.
And then just pipe a little bit of the chocolate on.
And that's just with red food colouring?
Red food colouring. Dust colour, though, not liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never put liquid in chocolate?
No. So,
Read the book.
Yeah, I'm definitely
so
gonna...
stamp it,
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
and then you get the little detail that says Merry Christmas.
You poser. Look at you. Look at it.
You love it.
Look at it. I've just made a sandwich on this show. You've just topped up everybody with your little stamp from eBay.
And then I've got some here already tried. There's nothing but insults today.
No, it's...
No, I don't chicken. And then I can do a little bit. You can do a little bit of cream or a little bit of chocolate, and then you just pop on. So leave them to dry, and then they'll just pop off. And then you can put them on the top.
Brilliant.
Beautiful.
So give us the name of this dish. You are an absolute genius, by the way.
This is my gingerbread choux buns with a caramel, praline, and gingerbread mousse.
The man is an absolute genius. Mark Tilling, everybody. Carly, there you go.
Thank you very
Dive
much.
in. Galton, I'm nicking one. There you go, fella. Dive into that. So, what do you do?
Enjoy.
Eat it like this?
Eat it just like that.
Like
I
this?
think so.
Eh? Squash it out. You are so good at your job.
Oh. That is fantastic.
How good is that?
That is absolutely fantastic.
How good is that, isn't it?
It really is.
Because you really get the
Beautiful.
ginger still as well.
Yeah, so you got that through the pastry, through the mousse as well.
That's so nice. One day you'll be able to cook like that.
Mark Tunning, everybody. That is so good. Even the dogs down here. Give me 5, Ralph. Give me 5. But we've got time for a quick break now, which is good job, because I do need to lie down, because he needs to make one more for him. But join us again in a couple of minutes for one more final festive recipe. I'll see you in a bit. I'll put one in the oven. Welcome back, sadly, to the last part of the show. But I'm here with all my guests. We've got Galton, Mark, and the amazing Carly Paoli. Now, there's plenty more cooking here to come on ITV today, as here's Ainsley Harriott to tell us what he's up to on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas to you, James. We've got some incredible guests on the show today and some wonderful food. How about bower buns? Or, if you like, a glazed ham. And if that doesn't tickle your fancy, I've got a rather scrumptious snow dome, all coming your way shortly.
Thanks, Ainsley. Have a great Christmas, mate. Ainsley will be here straight after the show with his show, but now I'll be serving up a final dish that I think Carly's going to love. Now, this dish, before I even begin to pronounce it, this dish comes from America via the Italians. I know you're looking at me like a bit dodgy.
Right.
So this dish I got from San Francisco. So I think it's called... Anyway, what's it pronounced of?
Chopino.
Chopino, that's the one. That's what I was going to get. Yeah. I wasn't going to get you to pronounce it. Exactly. That's what it is. So it's well, they called it a leftover fish stew, but it's not leftover fish stew because it's amazing fish that we've got in here. Now, when I did it for a load of fishermen. So I did it in a bulk version. So you can take the garlic and you just chop it into a big chunk if you wanted to. But I'm going to take this garlic and chop it all up with a little bit of shallots and fry that all off in our pan. Now, first of all, Carly, last time you were on here, you had an amazing album.
I did.
#1 best-selling album.
Yes.
No, that deserves a round of applause, doesn't it? Because
Thank you.
#1.
Thank you very much.
Where did the idea come from, obviously, for doing it? Because, you know, picking the songs, writing music, I mean, where did it all come from?
Well, it was during that awful time. We like to all try and forget that we weren't able to be with, you know, other musicians. So it was kind of a way of being able to still collaborate and create music and still immerse yourself in, you know, the musical world that you love. And also gave me a chance to write as well, because I love writing lyrics.
Right.
So that's...
How does a classical singer write? Because isn't a lot of the stuff that you sing already written?
Yeah.
Or you got the modern... You kind of got the modern... Was it Hans Zimmer and that kind of stuff? Did the modern sort of stuff?
Yeah, of course. But I suppose, like, I fell in love with music watching people in the Hollywood musicals. So one of the first things that really draws me to a song is the lyric. And that's been something that I find really special, being able to, you know, now receive music from often composers who I have been listening to since childhood.
Now you get offered stuff now.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, it's such an honour when a composer sends you the music and you're allowed to put your own words on that and to actually sing it with an orchestra. That's the most satisfying feeling in the world.
Where does that
for me.
love of music from? Because your family were not musicians, were they?
Not from my father's side. From my mum's side in Puglia, it's a very musical family. My grandfather was a lovely singer, and it was my grandfather that got me singing there first. He introduced me to, you know, like performing in the church when they do the big, like, sacred fiestas. But then it became a regular thing. I think my first paid gig would be when I was, like, 5 years old, getting on the bus into Mansfield with my grandmother, and I sang from the start to getting off, and when I got down to the bottom tier, they collected for me. So that was my first paid gig. Christmas songs, of course.
Christmas songs. Free bus ride, that's what that is. That's...
I learned very quickly.
But, I mean, we've got our fish oil here that I'm prepping up, and we're just about to throw this in, because in essence, once you've got this and you've reduced it all down, I've got the white wine in here, I've got the star anise, we've got some garlic, everything starts to cook down. You can just imagine them cooking this on the back of the boat that we come back into port. But when looking back at your career, there's some, I mean, you've had some amazing highlights of your career. One this year, actually, because performing, you know, the national anthem in front of the Italians and England.
Wow.
Yeah, San
How
Siro.
did you decide which side you were going to go on?
That's a hard one, you know. I had to be very diplomatic, but it ended up being the first time that God Save the King was performed at an international match in San Siro. So, yeah, an enormous privilege.
But of all the things you've done, I mean, there's got to be some amazing highlights. Surely doing what you're doing and performing in big arenas and everything else, but the Pope must have been very, very special.
Yeah, every performance, it's such an amazing feeling to do what you love as a living. That's such a blessing in life to be able to do that, but...
Every Saturday?
Exactly, yeah. But, yeah, it was in 2016. It was Pope Francis's Jubilee year, the Year of Mercy. And I had a version of Ave Maria that had just come out, and it became the official song for the Pope's Jubilee. And that took me on the most amazing adventure. It really was.
Right, so we've got a lot. I'm just going to recap what we got in here. So this is besides typical. This is Italian way of cooking, isn't it? You just make a mess everywhere. But what you want to do is cook this with a lid. So just to recap, I've got shallots, I've got garlic, I've got a little bit of sour anise in here. The tomatoes I use for these, they're just tinned tomatoes. You just blend them. You can use the ones that are whole, but you just got to cook it out for a little bit longer. I put some parsley stalks in there. The clams and the mussels go in, and I've got these sort of the crab claws over here. Now I know these are not sort of Norfolk crab.
They aren't a chroma crab.
They're not a chroma crab. Chroma crabs are little, sorry. Yeah. So they're little, small little things. But what these are? Just plain cooked crabs.
Yeah,
and this is when I was over in America, they just break them like this, and they would throw them all in. But the problem is you've got to be careful when you eat it. You get a bit of shell, but the idea is you just crack that open, and then this would just sit on top of the stew as you cook it. But if I lift this off, you can see what's happening here. It's the simplicity of it more than anything else. The great flavours you get from this, you can give it a quick stir. And at this moment in time, you can then... I'll put the crab on as well in a second, but you've got some parsley over the top. Black pepper over there as well. Now, we listened to you earlier. How long does it take for you to prepare for something like that? Because, you know, those people who... You were practising, and you were practising in different parts of the house. The whole village could hear you. How long does it take for you to get prepared for something like that?
I have to warm up. I mean, it's like anything, really. I find that I have to do a little bit of singing first, and I'll start with, you know, lower repertoire, and then I'll move up to something that takes my voice a little bit higher. So you warm up in a different way, depending what kind of repertoire that you're going to be singing.
Well, your performance was amazing earlier, and hopefully this sort of dish does it justice, really, but I can't pronounce it again, so what's it pronounced again?
Chopino.
That's what it is. Anyway, there you go. But we've got a nice little stew, but you see how quickly it was to cook? Like that.
Fantastic.
We've got the prawns, that kind of stuff. You can put the crab in it, bits and pieces if you wish, but I love this sort of dish. It's just simple, tasty, 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 and the perfect way to end what is, I think, one of the best Christmas shows we've ever done. I've been doing Saturday shows a long, long time, trust me, and this has probably topped all of them. But, ladies and gentlemen, my final dish, it's in Italian, it's on the website, I can pronounce it, but that's what it is. Happy Christmas. Right, bon appetit.
Here we go.
So there you go, Carly. There you go, Mark.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mum, we haven't got any.
Oh,
no,
geez.
I'm only joking. I've got another plate for you here. But dive into that, guys.
Crab on mine.
Yeah, tell me what you think. You can have the crab on yours as well, but I want you to taste the salmon, taste everything else, sour anise. I think it's such a simple little dish.
Wow.
I love this.
Beautiful.
Really nice.
Do you think?
You can just
Really
see
lovely.
Sauce is really good.
delicious, can't you?
Isn't it so good? It's white wine. I just thought it was wonderful. I learnt it while I was out in the States. Like I said, I can't pronounce it for toffee, but it's just...
Beer crab. Calm. Thank you. Thank you, chef.
There you go. Tell me what you think.
Wow.
The sauce is lovely, though.
Sauce is really good.
It looks lovely.
It's fantastic.
Happy?
Beautiful.
It's lovely, isn't it? With the clams and the
Really
mussels,
easy.
I think it's great. But there you go. Give it a go, because it really is fantastic. That's it. That's all we've got time for today, sadly. A massive thank you to all my guests. Chris Lee, Galton Blackiston, Gareth Ward, Mark Tillin, Fred Sirieix. And we had all these people at the house today. Oduba, and of course, Carly Paoli! We'll be back here on ITV on New Year's Eve when we'll be joined by more brilliant chefs. Dipna Anand will be here, John Williams from the Ritz, as well as singer Heather Small, and astronaut Tim Peake will be in the house. Until then, have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you so much for watching over this year. Take care. And right, grab your jackets, grab your coats. We're off down to the pub. And Carly, now it's my turn. See you in a bit. Come on.
Come on.
In we go.
Here we go.
We've got a microwave for that later.
Are you hanging out the stocking on the wall? Is it time that every Santa has a ball? Does he ride a red-nosed reindeer? Does a ton of ponies sing? Do the fairies keep it sober for a day? So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun. Are you waiting for the family to arrive? Are you sure